Hi, my name's Drew, and today we're going to be doing some simple surfacing in Lightwave's modeler. We open up modeler, and to keep it as simple as possible, we'll just make a unit primitive, in this case a box. There it is. I'll zoom in a little. Now to add a surface to it, you can push F5 or come over to the menu on the left and click on Surface Editor. That brings up our Surface Editor dialog. And in the left here it says unnamed, which is our object. We haven't saved it yet, so it's still unnamed. Let's save it now. Push S, call it box. And the default surface, which is this grey colour. To change the colour of that, just come down to where it says colour here. Click on the grey box, and in your colour window, choose any colour you like. Now just move this box out the way. And I'm going to make another primitive, say another box. It's red. The reason it's red is because I've changed the default color to red. So anything I make will start off as red. Now I don't really want that, so let's change the name of that default color to red. Hit OK. So now we've got a red surface. And I'll move these boxes out the way. Let's make another one. And now we've got a grey box, a second surface. If I click on the red surface and I change that to say blue, our first two boxes, which have the same surface applied, are now both blue. Let's switch that back to red. And our new one, let's change the name of that to say green. And let's change the color to green. Is now green. There we are. Very Christmassy, 2 red and 1 green. What if I want to only have a part of one of these boxes a different color? So we'll select a polygon, go to polygon mode. I'll choose the tops of these 3 boxes. Now if I try and change it with our 2 surfaces here, what's going to happen is, if I go here and change that to blue, that box changes color. That's no good. Change that back to green. What I need to do to just have those 3 polygons change is push the Q key on your keyboard. It brings up this. And create a new surface. We'll call it black, just because. And let's set that color to black. And click OK. And now only those 3 polygons have that surface applied to them. And now, of course, if I change the color of that surface in the surface editor, those 3 polygons all change together. If I want this one to be a different color, push Q, and now on this drop-down menu, I can actually choose from the ones I've already created. So green or red, and you'll notice when I choose them, the bottom options aren't available. Or I can make a new one. Let's call it orange. Those options then become available because it's a new surface. And let's go choose, well, that's kind of an orangey color. Let's make it, there we go, that's a bit more orangey. A nice orange, and done. Now that surface there is orange. Well, that's simple surfacing. A surface is just what's applied to a polygon, the colors or the textures or whatever that you apply to that polygon. Now if I deselect that polygon and let's say I want to make a new surface, so I'll push Q to make a new surface, and let's call this surface white. And we'll go to our color picker and choose white. Click OK and click OK, and everything's now white. The reason for that is, if nothing is selected in Modeler, by default everything is selected. So by having nothing selected, I applied it to everything in the layer. If I had it on a different layer, let's go to a new layer now, and let's make a unit primitive in that layer, say a ball, and let's give that ball an orange color, shall we? Yes. Surface editor, At the moment it's got white applied to it. So I'll choose Q to do everything in the layer, and let's make it green. There we are. If I go back to the first layer, everything's still white. Second layer, everything is green. So if I make another layer, make a unit primitive, let's make a disk. The disk comes up green because at the moment the last thing I used was applied to it. So we'll change white to yellow. Come over here, that's still green. Come over here, that's still green. If I change green though, and I go back through my layers, everything that's using this surface has changed color. There you are. Simple surfacing in Modeler. Now there is a reason we do this in Modeler and not in Lightwave, at least at this basic level. If I save out my thing here, and to make it more interesting, we'll change that one, that polygon there to this surface, and let's change this polygon and this polygon to green. There we are, which is now blue, so let's actually just change that to green so it goes with the name. And what's this one here is actually yellow, so we'll change that back to white. My red surface is red, my orange is orange, green is green, black is black. Okay, we'll click save. And now I'll open up layout and just push S to save. It only brings up the dialog the first time. And if we open up that one box, now I had 3 different layers. In one layer there were 3 boxes, and there they are. I also had this disk in one layer, and I also had a sphere in a layer. And because they're in different layers, they come in as 3 separate objects in layout. Now everything in the same layer is considered one object in layout, so I can select the sphere, which was in a different layer, the disk, which was in a different layer, or the 3 boxes, which was in its own layer. And because there were 3 boxes in one layer, it's one object. Now if I go into the surface editor in layout, I can change all the same things as I can in Modeler, but what I can't do is I can't change individual polygons by selecting them. I can't select the polygons. I can only select the objects. However, if there is a different surface applied to a polygon within an object, like this red polygon on top of these white boxes, I can change the surface within the object by using the surface editor. I just can't then say change this top polygon on this left box, because I can't change which surface is applied to any one polygon. I can only change the look of the surface that is already applied to that polygon. However, the individual models, if I change the green one, because they had the same surface applied, they change as well. So that's in Surface Editor. And once you're in Surface Editor, using all these other options becomes important, because you can actually see what they do. If I up the luminosity, or if I change diffuse. When you change these settings in Modeler, you can't really see what it's doing. To understand exactly how your surface is being modified, you need to use the Surface Editor inside Layout. Well, that's all I'm going to do today. That's simple surfacing in Lightwave.